Hello again, Falcons fans. By now, you've probably found out what everybody's been looking for the past couple of weeks, and that is the Atlanta Falcons 2009 regular season schedule. It is April 14th, one day before tax day, in the normal range for when you can expect the NFL schedule, at least for as long as I've been an NFL and team employee. So you can kind of always mark your calendars for this special occasion, which is really kind of, in my mind, become something equal to maybe Selection Sunday. Nowhere near as, dramatic or anything like that. I don't want to take any way away from March Madness. But if you're a football fan, this has to be, next to the draft, the big springtime event for you to go ahead and start your planning for the season that is ahead. And it's a good schedule for the Atlanta Falcons. It's a tough schedule for the Atlanta Falcons. Guys on FalconsLife.com have been talking for weeks and weeks about how, quote, brutal this schedule is. And there's a lot of playoff teams, that's for sure, but don't want to let anybody get too freaked out or too worried just yet because a lot can change. No one would think the Miami Dolphins were going to be as good last year. No one really thought the Falcons were going to be as good as they ended up being. And you see what happened there, and it can go just the opposite the other way. Teams you think are going to be great aren't so good. Teams that you think are going to be nothing are going to turn into playoff teams. So you have to wait and see when it comes to the NFL schedule. And I wanted to share some quick thoughts on the Falcons schedule. You can find most of these on the blog as well above me from where I've posted this YouTube clip on the new blog at jmike.blogs.atlantafalcons.com. But first, we talk about that brutal schedule. We talk about it brutal opening when you look at it that way. You've got three teams to start. You have Miami at home, Carolina at home, and then you're on the road at New England. Two of those three made the playoffs, had a combined record of 34-14. So if you can get through that stretch, if you're Mike Smith, that's the first thing you probably look at right there, besides going against Tony Sparano, a second-year head coach in Miami, maybe circling that and going, hey, this is going to be a big-time battle between two young coaches. You look at that stretch, you're like, if you can get through those three, you're feeling pretty good. And you get through those three, you're at the team's bye week. And this is the earliest bye week the Falcons have had since 2002, week 4 being a bye week. Schedule also includes 3 straight home games for, becoming a little bit more regular fact in the NFL. Teams aren't going too many years without having those. Falcons went 2-1 with 3 straight home games last year, their only loss being to the Denver Broncos, and that was a pretty close game. 4 straight home games to start the season if you count the preseason, 2 preseason games at home, San Diego, and then Baltimore to close out the preseason. So if you really want to count the preseason, I know some people don't, you can say that's 4 straight home games. I know I'm excited to be hanging out at home for a little while. 2 primetime games, Chicago Bears here, going to be a Sunday night game, and then at New Orleans a little later on, November 2nd, going to be a Monday night game. So it'll be my first Monday night game on the road. I'm excited about that to see how the travel is going to be a little different, and a little extra time in the city of New Orleans is always a great thing. New Cowboys Stadium on October 25th. Mark that on your calendar. I know I'm excited to go check out what is still called, unoriginally Dallas Cowboys Stadium right now. It'll be interesting to see what Jerry Jones and company have built. I hear it's going to be a beautiful facility, and it's going to be very exciting for the Cowboys to be in that new home. Former Falcons linebacker Keith Brooking down there as well, so that'll be an interesting game for the Falcons, whether they were opening the stadium or not. That's going to be a good one. Another 4 out of 5 on the road. Falcons did pretty well on the road last year. You have to if you're going to be 11-5 on the regular season. So again, but 4 out of 5 on the road is really tough. A lot of teams have to end up doing it. Pretty much every team's going to have a stretch of a lot of road games at some point in the season. I'm confident Coach Smith is going to be able to work around that and get his team motivated. But when you talk about going on the road, only 3 games outside the Eastern time zone this year for the Falcons, 6 last year if you include the playoff game in Arizona, 2 all the way out to the West Coast. Team went 2-0 on the West Coast last year, so travel isn't really an issue when you talk about how a team can be prepared. But from my standpoint anyway, and fixing my watch and clock and trying to figure out what's going on, and BlackBerries, how great they are, I can't get mine figured out to switch the time zone automatically. If anybody can help me with that, let me know. But anyway, only 3 games outside the Eastern time zone. That's going to be pretty exciting during the regular season, very easy to deal with. So what else do I look for with the start of the preseason schedule and the regular season schedule release if you're a team employee? The first thing you got to look for is the baseball schedule and those early season games. I've already pulled out and looked around a little bit for the preseason to see. The Lions are in town, or excuse me, the Tigers are in town when the Falcons go play the Lions. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on. Maybe get tickets to the new ballpark there. I say new, it'd be new to me, but a different chance to see a different baseball game. So that's one thing a team employee looks for. The other thing is good restaurants and find out where your friends are going to be. I've got friends all over the country. That's one of the great things about this job. So we'll probably be talking later on tonight, trying to figure out, when we're going to be able to see each other and go out to dinner. So my phone's ringing right now. That's probably one of them calling me. So I'm going to have to go. Again, happy schedule release day, and be sure to tune in on the new redesigned blog, jmike.atlantafalcons. Excuse me, jmike.blogs.atlantafalcons.com. Have a good one.